we're going to show you how this Outdrive is actually mounted to your power head. Keep in mind that if you ever have to have this level of service, you're better off going to an authorized service center, but we also realize that some of you guys are out in very remote areas that you're pretty mechanically inclined. So we're going to show you how to completely disassemble the Outdrive from this motor. In the event that you need to change the Outdrive itself, or that you have a lot of work that needs to be done to the engine, if you have to get to this crankcase cover, we're going to show you how to remove the Outdrive from the engine and then how to reinstall it. It'll go just like it did when you were tensioning your belt. You'll take this belt housing off. First thing is these 6 screws on the top. You'll loosen all the bolts just as you were going to adjust the belt tension. The 4 bolts on top, the 4 bolts in the middle, and the 4 bolts on the bottom. That'll take the tension off the belt to make it a lot easier to take this thing off. All right, now I got to take off. Okay, I've loosened all the 12 bolts associated that hold that belt housing on there. Now I'm going to take the tension off the belt. Okay, I've loosened all the bolts, 12 bolts that are associated with it. I back the set screw, the belt tensioning screw, all the way down. And you can see, as I squeeze on this, you can see this belt housing rising up because I have the bolts loosened up. Now there's no tension left on my belt. Now if there's no tension left on this belt, I'm ready to remove the Outdrive. Okay, I'm going to remove these cap screws just like I did on the top. The only plus I'm going to do is I'm going to take this weed guard off of here to get it out of the way so I can get to this bottom cap screw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cap screws have to come out. Taking the weed guard out of the way allows you to get to this cap screw a lot easier. It's probably a good idea to have someone there to help you when this comes off, because this is pretty heavy. The Outdrive is pretty heavy. Okay, we've taken all the cap screws out. We know the belt is loose, so we're ready to take the Outdrive off. What you can, a lot of times, just push down on the Outdrive with the motor in the lock position and it'll pop out. Doesn't do it every time. Sometimes you'll have to take another tool, put a little bit of leverage up here at the top and pop it, just a little. It'll pop right out. Again, being very careful of the gasket. You see how the gasket came out of the channel right here? You want to be aware of it. It's no big deal that it came out, but before we put this Outdrive back on, we want to make sure that that gasket is back inside that channel so we can keep water out of your lower unit. We've taken the Outdrive off. Now the belt obviously will simply just come out over the clutch. In order to remove the clutch, this is permanently molded into the clutch face. These wires are. So you'll need to come back here to where they're connected and cut these wires back. I'll show you a little bit about the wiring of these things. This is the cover on the 35 and larger. They use to cover up the wiring harnesses on here. Just 3 screws. hold the plastic housing in here. You take that off and it'll expose the back of your starter and all your electrical connections that are coming from the handle. In order to take the clutch off, you'll see there's two wires that come out. This goes into the back of the belt housing and go directly to the clutch. They're both the same color. The reason they're the same color, it doesn't really matter which one goes to hot and which one goes to the ground. You can see on this one right here, this one goes directly to the ground right here. Just bolts to the back of the starter and makes ground, and then it'll go into this harness and it'll connect to the brown wire that comes from your handle, comes from your switch. And we'll talk a little bit about electrical troubleshooting later. But you want to cut these wires when you're removing this. Cut these wire ties off and go ahead and break the connection where the connection is made. Break it where the white wire and the brown clutch wire coming from your handle connect. This is where you'll cut them to remove your clutch.